welcome to January's Goldgirl Girl Talk. And I am sitting somewhere different, and I don't know, I may stay here for all my videos. I'm so comfortable. I may fall asleep on my couch. I don't really have any notes. I have nothing in front of me, actually. I have no table or anything like I normally do. I'm kind of running free and wild here. This is a little strange. But I thought I would just kind of have a couple things in the back of my brain that I want to address or chit chat with you about. So let's just start with, I am sitting on my couch, a chair and a half, love seat, I don't know what you call this thing, in my family room, and that's the kitchen behind me. And I just got back from the hair salon. We did color, we did highlights, we trimmed it up. And so don't ask me how to do this hair thing, because I could tell you to call Kate Charles and ask for Erica. That's my hair tutorial for you. I'm just being a little flippant, you know. I don't know how to do this. So girl talk for January. Lot went on this month. I might be shooting myself here, but I do want to address something. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I did put up a post that maybe was not worded. I'm not going to say maybe. I'm not going to dodge things. It was not worded the best it could have been. I did not have anybody proof it before I posted it, but it went up with the best of intentions. And even though I kept trying to explain myself over and over, I got to the point where I just had to walk away from social media. And if you don't follow me on social media and you're blissfully unaware of what I'm talking about, that's okay. That's probably better. But if you do, then you know I'm talking about the post I put up the day after the women's marches. And a lot of people interpreted it completely wrong. My intention was to say, hey, since we're all talking about women's issues and women's rights and how we want to be treated, let's keep that. That's important. It's an important topic. And while that's on the forefront of our minds, let's also make sure to pause and think about how we also treat each other as women and how we treat ourselves, because women are not always very nice to women. And I think our worst impediment is sometimes ourselves. We're like our own worst critic. And the way I worded that post, many people interpret it as some sort of dig against the march, and that's not at all what it was meant to convey. So I just wanted it to be more about, let's be nice, let's support each other as women, let's bring each other up, and not just here on the internet, which is obviously a huge issue, but in real life, it's also a problem, and let's just take this positivity and move it forward. And if you're still mad at me, I don't know what else I can do. I've tried to explain myself as much as I can. I just felt like I needed to address it one more time. So other things coming up, I don't want to give anything away specifically, but do watch January Favorites, which should be up in the next week or so, I think, because I'm doing something different. And it's not always going to be during a favorites video, but once a month, there is going to be a giveaway every month to my viewers. And it will not be announced in the video, so you're going to have to watch it, and it will be open internationally. And I think it's pretty good. So it's not sponsored, it's all from me, but it's my way of saying thank you and giving back to you. I felt when I was taking stock in 2016 and what I wanted to do for 2017, I've come a long way in my channel, and I'm really, really happy with the growth I've experienced, and that growth is only due to you. So I need to give it back. So keep your eyes open, your ears open for that. Also want to chit chat a little bit about my husband does my makeover video that just went up on Wednesday. I'm actually filming this video Wednesday afternoon, so it went up this morning, and the comment, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so glad you liked it. I'm so glad you think my husband's voice is sexy. I don't know if Michael has seen those comments or not, but now I'm never going to be able to live with him. His head's just going to, but so for those of you who are not familiar with how I did that video. So I filmed my part by myself. He wasn't in the room. And then I edited it down because it would have been like a 40-minute video. And that, well, not quite that long, but it would have been quite a bit longer. So I edited it down to just the essential parts and took the sound out. And then I set Michael up in front of my computer and set up the voiceover part and said, okay, go. And he said, no, don't leave me alone in here. What if I mess it up? What if I, not like what he's saying, but like, what if I hit a button and I make the recording stop, or just stay here in case I, do something wrong. So I said, well, I don't want to influence you in any way, but okay. So I stood behind him so that he couldn't see me. And if you haven't seen that video, listen closely. Maybe you don't even have to try that hard. There's a couple instances where you can hear me snorting because I could not hold it in. I was laughing so hard. Tears were coming. It's hysterical. So thank you if you've enjoyed it. I have never had so much fun watching back a video in my life. And thank you to those who suggested that he needs to do. The next one is my husband does my makeover, or my husband does my makeup. That's only going to happen if I hit 100,000 subscribers. So let's make that happen. And I would love to narrate something that he does, but I don't think anybody really wants to watch me narrate Michael's golf game. I'd have to talk very softly and learn how to do a golf clap. So anyway, that's enough about housekeeping. Now let's get on to the girl talk. So I guess the topic that has been requested, I've talked a lot about having older children and transitioning from having kids in the house to moving on to the empty nest, but I've never I haven't talked very much, I don't think, about what it was like to have little ones in the house. And I've had a lot of questions about how Michael and I got through. Obviously we got through it, we're still here. But, what's some of my advice, or what can I share with you on how that went, and was it hard? How did I handle it? And particularly the one subscriber I'm thinking about, it did help. My children were 3 years apart to the month in age. So I had one out of diapers before the next one showed up. That's a big difference. If you have them closer together and you've got toddler and newborn, my heart goes out to you. That's a lot on your plate. Granted, Michael and I did not have any family here when we had little ones. So, and I did not have any real help. It was all, pretty much me and then Michael when he was home from work. So I just kind of wanted to talk about, I got some questions about, is it normal to feel this way, or how did you handle this? It is stressful at times because you're tired, and because when you're a stay-at-home parent, that is a 24-hour, 7-day-week job. You don't get a day off, and you don't get a vacation. You'll get a change of scenery, but it's never a vacation. And it's not a complaint. I would never trade a day of it. I loved not maybe every minute of it, but I feel very, very lucky to have been able to have that experience. So I don't want to take away from that, but I understand the stress of just, sometimes I remember saying to Michael, you don't get it. When you go to work, all you think about is work. And when you come home, you're not taking that, well, he did actually work a lot from home, but generally speaking, most people don't take their job home with them. They're done. They're not fielding phone calls and dealing with all the other people in the office, and you get a break. And when you go on vacation, you're really on vacation. And as a full-time parent, you don't. So yes, of course there's stress. It's different stress than when you have older kids, but a lot of it is physical stress from just being exhausted. And how Michael and I kind of kept our sanity. You have to talk a lot. You have to talk to each other. You are in this together. You are the team. You are the team that created the rest of this team. So you kind of have to remember who started this whole thing. The kids cannot come first, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Not to say you should neglect your children, but your partner has to come first. You have to make a conscious decision to put what they need ahead sometimes of what the kids need, because the kids are going to leave. And this is an ongoing thing. This doesn't stop when your kids are teenagers. I will admit right now that, it's a struggle sometimes to find that couple time now when your kids are, like for us, when our kids are teenagers, because their activities and then the holiday schedule and all that, it's sometimes hard for Michael and I to find time, just us. You have to remember that although these kids seem the whole focus of your life, as they should, they're going to leave. The goal is to get them out, right? 18 years, they leave for college, or they move on, they finish high school or whatever it is. They become an adult. The goal is not to have them stay with you forever. The goal is to have them leave. And at some point in the future, it's just going to be you and your spouse again. So don't lose sight of the relationship that started this whole thing, and that's hopefully going to be there when the kids are gone. So while it might not be like this big romantic date night that you have planned, even now, our date night, more often than not, is if the kids are in bed, or at this point, if the kids are out, we're happy to just be at home and maybe watch one of our favorite TV shows together, sitting next to each other on the couch. Like, that's enough. I don't want this to turn into like a lecture of this is how you should be a parent of young children, but I'm just trying to let you know that you have to just you have to sort of switch your lens a little bit. Like, the moments of going out on the town and going to the clubs all night, and maybe that's not happening anymore, or maybe that never happened to me. But what you think of as fun now changes, and what you treasure changes, and you have to be open to that and welcome it and find your fun where you can find it. I would also, just from a practical point of view, like if you're raising your children away from family, you do need to have a moment where you leave the house without them for your own sanity. In my case, there are a number of local universities, so I just put an ad in the local career center in those universities and interviewed babysitters that way. I wanted college age or graduate students. It's kind of scary, to think about that, but I wanted someone who's available during the day. I wanted to be able to go out once a week and have like a 4-hour slot where I knew there was going to be someone to come every week when they were little young, who I could get my hair done. I can go get a cup of coffee. I could go grocery shopping, whatever it was. I didn't have like a small person attached to me at that moment. Even if I had no appointments and I just want to go take a walk around the block without a kid, you need that break. You need that mental something. Maybe you're not comfortable leaving your child with a stranger that way. Maybe it's the health club and you put them in the babysitting room and you go walk on the treadmill. Or maybe you put them in the babysitting room and you go sit in the cafe and have a smoothie. Like, it's okay to have your time, or watch a YouTube video or whatever it is. But, I mean, the reality is that they go to preschool when they're 2-3 years old, and it's over. It goes so fast. I know when you're living it, it seems like it's never going to end. You're going to be changing diapers for the rest of your life, and wiping snot, and folding tiny little clothes. But now that I'm on the other side of all that, I kind of, well, I'm not going to say I miss it, but I kind of would love to start all over again, because it's almost a distant memory. It's so hard to realize that there was actually a light at the end of that tunnel. It just whoosh. So that was kind of what I wanted to just share, my personal experiences, like how Michael and I got through it. We remembered why we were married in the first place. It was that our love for each other. It wasn't just to make children. Setting those reasonable expectations, I think, of each other is important. And also just, remembering that we are a partnership in this. We are on the same team. I don't know what this is about. This is what got us into having that. Anyway, so I just, sometimes we paint this picture of motherhood as all wonderful, or it's all horrible. You know what? It's a little bit of both. It's okay to admit that every day is not great. And I think when you cut yourself a little bit of that slack, it gets a little easier to handle. So I hope that this helped you a little bit if that was what you were looking for. What I'd really love is, again, this is a girl talk, or anyone could join in really, but for those of you who are in the middle of it right now, you're in the trenches with the little ones, join in here and chit chat. I've touched a little bit on it in other videos, like I joined a mother of preschoolers group. There were other like playtime groups I joined in, mommy and me type things. you know, you have to get out. You have to like make the effort to interact with other adults because your brain will just. So my point of that is I've got a whole bunch of adults sitting here watching this video. So use this, talk amongst yourselves, go down in the comments and, you know, share your stories or ask each other your questions. I'm way far out of that stage. There's plenty of you who are experts on this, and help each other out here. I would love to see that community grow. So that's where I'm going to end this. I hope you enjoyed this month's Girl Talk. It was a little bit all over the place, but admittedly, I'm dealing with a killer migraine, and this is as good as it's going to get today. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad you're here with me, and can't wait to film my January favorites and do that giveaway. Can't wait for you to see what it is. Until then, thanks for watching. Can't wait to see the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.